And just remember, you've got to turn your volume down on the YouTube page.
I don't know how to do that.
As it's live.
Yeah.
Oh, it should be good.
I'll make sure you can hear that.
Yeah, I can hear him, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna, below.
Ron, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I do need you to come sign some paperwork sometime this week.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Got y'all set up and ready to go. Okay. You don't have to touch anything or do anything.
Okay.
You're all good.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Hi, Sam. Good.
That way you don't chop your chin off. Yeah.
Hi, Ron. There you are.
I was trying to take and figure out how to get myself, but you have to video it, I guess. My daughter couldn't help me.
Okay, all I know is that Glenda will be a little bit late. Otherwise, everybody should be here. Hi, Mayor.
Hello, hello.
Are you gonna turn your video on?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Turn my video on. Start video.
There you go.
I'm in.
We have this video. Yes.
So Mayor, I know that Glenda will be a little bit late, but I haven't heard from anybody else. So just waiting for them to sign in.
Okay. I gotta turn my volume up just a little bit. Really?
Excuse me.
And I do have a flag when it's time.
I like your flag. Good job. Do you have a harmonica too?
I'm not sure who that is.
Probably me. I'm trying to mute. Did I mute now?
Nope, you're still on. It's usually up in the upper right corner.
Hi, chief.
So,
Mine's lower left, Mike.
Oh, okay. You're muted.
Hey,
Waiting for
Sam.
other councilors to hop on.
Right, yeah, we're gonna- right? You're fine.
I got by my clock 6:01. We ready to go?
No, because we don't have enough council members. We only have 2 on here.
No.
So waiting for Carol, Glinda is gonna be a little bit late, and Emily.
Yeah.
Let me go try to make a couple phone calls really quick. Maybe.
I'll let you know if they show up.
Let me know if they're trying to admit into the room. Or whatever.
One person is waiting, it says.
Oh, okay,
I don't know who.
somebody's waiting. Admit. Let's see who this is. Who is 13608?
Prisoner 13608.
I guess there is nobody like that.
Are you gonna jump on the Zoom meeting? Okay. Okay, do you have your volume on?
Chief, can you see me okay?
Yep, I see you.
Is it too dark? She just turned the light off. Is it too dark or am I okay?
No, you're bright enough. You're good.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
It says join with computer audio.
Yeah.
I hear you now, Carol.
You hear me now?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, all right.
thank you.
We don't see you, but we hear you.
Well, that's halfway there.
Yeah.
Turn on our video.
Oops. Okay,
Probably start.
I don't know what I did here wrong.
The video.
Let me see if I can do this.
There's a video button, Sam says.
Let's try that. Does
There you
that?
are.
Oh, there we go. How's that?
Good.
I don't like my name being a number, but
There you go. Tilt down a little bit. There we go. You're in the middle of the screen now. That's good.
okay.
She can
That's the first time I did it by myself.
work on the video.
Okay.
You gotta do that.
She's gonna do that.
Yours, I think, your web up?
Now you want us to mute? Well, this is going on.
No,
you're good.
No sense in that right now.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Do you have your packet with
Thank you.
you?
I do.
Just
It's just not gonna be.
on what the meeting ID and password is. Okay. Okay, bye.
All right. I think Sam's got us hooked up with on Zoom too. He said. Got it recording.
So Emily is trying to come in. Glinda is on. So let's try to get Emily on here. She's trying to put the password in and get going.
Hello.
Need to start the video, Glenda.
I'm trying.
Okay, and I've got Emily trying to get in now. Admitting Emily.
Here,
There's Emily.
oh, we got a picture.
I do not know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
so
Mary.
sorry. Major malfunction.
Ready, Mayor, whenever you are.
Okay.
Everybody's on board?
There
Yep.
she is.
Okay, we'll start with a flag salute. Everybody ready? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic which
for
which
stands
stands
nation under God,
God,
with
nation
liberty and justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
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 Well, that was,
Okay, that was
that was
interesting.
really good.
Yeah.
Okay, department reports. Let's go with Public Works. Michael,
Unmute yourself, Mike.
Ryan, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Everything is going okay. We had a couple of things that we had to change out. One was the mixer. We found out one of the blades were broke, so we had to pull it out, change it out. We did that. One of the bearings on the mower went bad, so we had pulled that apart, fixed it up, got it back to working. Everything seems to be going okay after that. We are running product through the screw press. Initial numbers are looking pretty good. Nothing, I don't really want to, confirm actual numbers yet because we haven't got a chance to really run it long enough. But it looks like at this point, at least it's going to be in half. So that's looking really good. Other than that, everything's going well, trying to keep up with the lawn and working with the weather. That's about it.
okay, is there any questions for Mike? Ron?
I only have one, and that is when things finally get opened back up. If you anticipate any kind of delay to get the park and campground open up, do we need to do extra work because of the delay or the shutdown?
Right. No, we're expecting, we're just waiting for the word. We're pretty much ready. We haven't really put out any picnic tables yet because the governor, he still hasn't opened everything up totally. It shouldn't take long at all. Once we get the word, we'll probably, that would be a priority so we can get our parks back open again. I do know that there are some facilities that are letting people in and just keeping them off like toys and keeping the bathrooms still shut and stuff like that. So there are different options as far as it goes right now, but until everything gets opened back up, I guess that would be up to everybody's decision. But when the time comes, we're ready to go and we'll get it open as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Is there any other questions for Mike? Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thank
Chief?
you, everybody.
Chief, you're up.
All right, well, hello, everybody. Good to see you, even if it's on the screen. So first off, operations are pretty normal for the most part. We had 23 calls to service last month. That's pretty normal. Kind of an update quickly on the motorcycle. That's down at Day Wireless getting outfitted right now. We should, hopefully, I'm hoping within the next 30 days, that'll be all finished, stickers and ready to go, hitting the road within 30 days, I'm hoping.
So you guys are still using that, the old motorcycle now, or is that one sold?
That one's gone. That one's gone, yeah. So right now, the only motorcycle we have is getting outfitted.
Okay, I saw a motorcycle. I saw an officer on a motorcycle coming up the hill, but that was a couple
Right.
days ago. So.
Lewis County Sheriff's Office has a couple of them.
Okay,
that they run around in, so
yeah.
probably one of those guys. But that's about all I got. Everything else is going pretty smoothly.
Is there any questions for the chief? Ron?
I was just wondering if there any noticeable increase or decrease in activity because of the lockdown.
That's a good question. Not really that I've noted. I haven't noted any increase or decrease. It's been kind of status quo, knock on wood at this point.
Has there been any phone calls because of possible fraud attempts or that type of stuff?
Frauds
Fraud.
because of the COVID,
Yeah.
on COVID? No, nothing about the COVID, no. No.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay, thanks, chief.
Mhm.
Michelle?
So things have been rather busy, even though that we're office is shut down, and with the governor's new phasing of 4 phases coming out, it looks like government buildings should be able to open up in phase 3, which is potentially June 16th. So we'll still be shut down the whole month of May. But we haven't had complaints or anything. Customers are still have the ability to get a hold of us. But construction's opened up, and so they've been working really well with us through the phone, or if somebody comes to the site, we've been helping them out there too. We do have some things that are going on construction wise. So there is the new house up above the high school that is going to be on our water system. On St. Helens Street, the burnt out place, they're planning on putting another manufactured home there, plus an additional one on an empty lot beside it.
Nice.
On North 4th Street above Rachel Phillips' office, there's that empty lot. There's a kid that had purchased it several years ago. He had already paid for the water hookup, but did not do any of the work. And they're talking about putting just a garden area in with water connections. We explained that, you know, once it starts, there's a bill every month, but it would just be water only and not sewer. There's another potential hookup that's going to happen down on Alder Street towards the park area. Pine Street is connected currently, right, Mike?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's all connected, ready to go. Last thing I knew, Toledo Tail had to finish hooking up their conduit so they could get calm into the house. But yeah, so everything there is hooked up.
So that's, you know, 6 new connections basically. And we have one that they pulled an older manufactured home out and replaced that one. So the connection was never terminated, so that wasn't a problem. I think everything else I have is under COVID.
I had a question about the sidewalk that's gonna go up here on, sorry, I'm pointing.
So on Washington
way.
Street, yeah, the Washington
Yeah,
Street
on Washington
sidewalk.
Street.
So
Mhm.
that has been worked on again, and the bid should go out. I keep hearing any day now. Right, currently I'm working on getting some easement agreements with the school and a property owner down there. But
Okay.
it is progressing slowly.
All right, well, at least it's progress. However slow.
Is there any other questions for Michelle? All right, thank you, Michelle.
Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, Ron. Go ahead.
That's okay. The only question I had is the situation with the assistance being offered to Winlock. Did that go through? And if so, is it manageable?
Yeah, update on that. So yes, we are working with Winlock, and as some of the stuff we could do from City Hall here in Toledo, I have the ability to actually virtual into their computer system. Some things obviously we have to go over there. So I think between the three of us, we probably have close to a little over 40 hours for the month of April. And we'll be getting that billed out. So it has not been unmanageable at any means. It's just been learning a new process because everybody does everything a little bit different. And so going into somebody else's office and trying to figure out their systems and some things that may not have been done correctly and trying to fix those things.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks again, Michelle. Okay, we're moving on to new business. First one on the new business, Lewis County Seniors. MOU.
So this is the memorandum of understanding from Lewis County Seniors. Last year, they did ask for $1,000, but we were only capable of doing 500. And Mayor, we do need to go back at some point too and do it the consent agenda too. Approve bills and all and minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. So this is just asking for $1,000 again for the year 2020. Glenda can add to it. She is unable to make any motions or vote on it because it would be a conflict of interest, but as the executive director of the seniors, you can ask her questions if you like.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, Rod.
I don't have a question. I'm just gonna make a motion and I didn't know whether we were gonna raise our hand to make a motion, but I would make a motion that we would approve the memo of understanding and provide the support to the center.
I'll second it.
Okay. It's
That
been
was
moved and-
Carol.
it's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions on this?
What did we donate last year?
Last year we
500.
did
500, correct, Michelle? This year's 1,000.
We had asked for 1,000 the very first year, and you guys were able to grant that. And the second year we asked for 1,000, but we were only able to grant 500. And so this year we're back to asking again for the 1,000.
And Michelle, we're okay on the fundage for doing that?
the fundage, sure. Well, I mean, with the COVID-19, a lot of things are unknown at this point. Our budget was able to handle the $1,000 when we originally did our budget, and not knowing what's going to happen in the next few months. I mean, I could say, yes, we can afford it right now. And if something happens, you know, in a couple months down the line, we'll just have to make an adjustment somewhere else. But currently, yes, it's a difficult question.
Nice job, Skate.
Okay, there's still a motion on the floor. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Motion
you.
carries. Okay, now I'd like to move backwards a little bit and get approval for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Going back now to new business, number 2, the street sweeping work order. It was in your packets, so everybody take a look at it.
So what this is for is the chip seal that was done, I think, at the beginning of fall or so. And the mayor and I have a little difference of opinion on this, but anyway, this would be the third time that Lewis County's had to come back and sweep up their rock that they've put down. And in all the history.
Oh, they did? They actually did come and sweep it up?
They have twice, and so this
Okay.
would be the third time. And the history of me being here, we've never had to have them come back so many times. It's usually they chip seal and, you know, let things settle, people drive over it and everything, and they come back a week or two or whatever later and sweep, and things are good. So
Maybe they had an apprentice working that day. I don't know.
Well, my excuses were apprentice, where they put too much rock down, what kind of oil did they use? I had
Yeah.
lots of questions to ask, and I called the director today of the chip sealing program, and he did not return my call to get an answer.
Of course he didn't.
I'm trying to get the price down a little bit, but I just think it looks a little tacky for that loose rock to stay on the edges, because the more traffic runs over it with a loose rock, it's going to make other rocks loose again.
Well, I can also tell you that the last council meeting that I went to was on my bicycle, and going around those corners, you know, you hit that loose rock and you're on a street bike and bye-bye.
I never thought of that, but that's a good point. I can use that for ammunition.
Well, there you go.
You guys can pay it, or you can not. We can sustain it till the next meeting.
Mayor Ron has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the top of my screen very well. So now I see it, Ron. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The only comment I have is that the issue isn't whether or not it needs to be done, but the issue is whether or not we should pay to get it done, or whether or not there's some other alternatives to that. Have we considered contacting our commissioner to ask them if it's appropriate to have to come 3 times to take care of something? I would easily see that if you were the one responsible, even I would not hesitate to ask you about it. And if he's a commissioner, maybe, or one of the commissioners, that maybe we would go to them directly, and especially in light of the fact you didn't get a return phone call. That's all I would do.
Well,
I have to agree with that, Mayor.
I'm not a quitter, Ron. I won't give up on him. I'll call him again tomorrow, first thing in the morning.
But I think it would also behoove us to contact Gary Stamper, who is our county commissioner. I think that's a really smart idea. And just kind of let him know, just give him the details on what's been going on. I mean, not so much as a tattle, but just to let him know so that some other people are in the loop.
Well, another thing that I have in my reserve pocket is that we are letting the county dump hundreds of loads of dirt in our ponds to fill them up, which they're not filling up their pits, which should give us a little bit more leverage for asking for favors.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can run that by the commissioner. I know him very well.
But in
So
that
I'm-
aspect, they are doing us a favor too by filling up our ponds. But
Sure.
Mayor, didn't you say that there were some other cities that were having issues with the same thing with the gravel being loose?
The last time I talked to Kevin, he said that there was some other cities that I want to verify that too before I go in guns a-blazing also.
Before we do anything, I don't know whether you need a motion, but I would suggest that we table till the next meeting.
Okay, is everybody all for that? Tabling it?
I'm in agreement until we can all get our ducks in a row as far as knowing for sure through between you and Michelle on what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
else?
agree.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's move
And
on.
our public works might have some more to add to that too. He could work on some details.
Okay. Moving on to number 3, COVID-19.
Okay, so there is a lot going on with the COVID stuff. And basically we're closed until phase 3, which should occur in 6 weeks. There has been no issues with the water, people paying. You know, we did allow people to have sign up for relief basically and not paying for several weeks. I think we only ended up with 3 people so far that have done that. Most people have paid their bills on time or just a little bit late. We did not do late fees. We did not do door hangers with a fee. We did put door hangers out to let people know, hey, you still haven't paid your bill. What is your intentions? What do you need to do? Because we are requiring them to fill out paperwork if it's COVID-19 related reasons why they can't pay their bill. So far we haven't had issues with that. We're still attending virtual weekly meetings about COVID-19, keeping up to date. Sometimes there's 3 meetings a week, sometimes there's more or less. I have started application to FEMA for any funding that we may need for additional expenses, for overtime. Sam's been helping out doing these virtual meetings and placing them live on YouTube. We've at the very beginning, we purchased extra, cleaning supplies and things like that. Since that time, the Lewis County Chamber has come through and given us masks, sanitizer, water, and some other things. And then the Lewis County Emergency Management has also come in with additional gloves. Gloves has been a big thing. So those are some things too that we're gonna really have to look at when we do open up in 6-9 weeks or whatever it may be, of new protocols for the office staff here and how we're going to be, are we gonna have to wear masks all the time and different things like that. So that will be forthcoming, that we'll discuss that a little bit more and what will be, asked of us. I'm in contact with the food bank weekly, asking them. We have had a lot of people call in and say, how's our food bank doing? What do they need? I
That's good.
would make contact with Glenda. I know she has a contact with United Way. They could use a freezer, an upright feed freezer, because they're able to get some additional food that needs to be frozen and they have no place to put it. So
I will put that out to the Lewis County coalition that we started, which is a social service coalition. And we are working with the Salvation Army, the food banks, a few other Gather, which is a church. So I will put that out to them at our next meeting and see what we can come up with.
thank you. So they'll appreciate that. And we've had a local citizen here that's donated several gloves to our police department, and they also donated to the food bank too, because I said that's where they had a need too, was in additional gloves. Our restaurants that I've talked to and the mayor's talked to seem to be doing okay with this new way of doing service. The 2 catering companies a lot of times are selling out of their food, when they are able to do it. So I think we're going to be okay there. There is a new website that I will have Sam put up on a link to our website. It's called lewiscountytogether.com. And on that website, it has a list of the restaurants that are open, their Facebook websites, all of that information. There is some additional information on that if people need resources and help. So again, that's lewiscountytogether.com. The governor is asking for, I think it was $300 million to go to cities and counties that were not under or that are under the 500,000 population that weren't in that first round of funding, and with a minimum of $25,000 going to each city. And so the city of Toledo, based off population, would be getting that $25,000. I haven't received the contracts yet for that. So when I do, we'll dive into that a little bit more. So there's just a lot going on and we're trying to keep up with it the best that we can. So is there any other questions? Ron, go ahead.
The biggest question I have is if you have a guess, and that's all it could be an estimate as to what the drop off in revenue and addition of expenses should be, if you have any idea at all, or is it too early to tell? That's all.
Yeah, that's a really difficult question. And the reason being is, like, with the taxes that everybody pays for when they purchase food and stuff at the restaurants and different businesses, it's always 2 to 3 months. It's usually 2 months behind. So anything that we're getting in May is from March. And so nothing really hit till the last week or so of March. I know that the mayor and I and John Brockmiller, we've discussed it a lot because it is a concern. And there has been a huge increase of people in our grocery store, the different gas stations, the hardware store, with the catering companies, the way they offered the catering services before, the taxes were paid to wherever their event was. So now their events are all in Toledo. So anything that the catering companies are doing automatically goes to the city of Toledo now and not to another entity. So that's a little bit different. And like I said, talking with the restaurants, they seem to be handling things really well. There hasn't been a huge drop off, but we won't know that until a couple months down the line. The concern is people paying their property taxes. So that is one thing, you know, property taxes are due the end of April and the end of October. So, but most people's property taxes, they don't own their homes outright. It's through a mortgage, and so it's paid in your mortgage, and the mortgage company pays those property taxes. So we'll be figuring some of those things out in the next 2 weeks on property tax revenues and how they're coming in. I think Toledo's going to be okay. I know there are some other cities that are expecting, you know, a drop. They're going to have to make dramatic decreases to their budgets, you know, 20% to, you know, 50%, things like that. I'm not that concerned. I'm concerned, but not, you know, I'm not scared about it yet, if that helps you out. And then, like I said, too, we will be getting that $25,000 from the government.
I would guess that probably my perspective was somewhat what you said, is that there's been an increase in some areas. You see that in just the busyness at some of the locals, which is a really, really good thing. If people get in the habit of shopping in town, maybe they'll keep it up afterwards.
And you hit that right on the head, because we are all habit creatures. And so it takes 28 days for a habit. We're going to be well into the 28 days with this.
Yeah, we're gonna have 28 days and then 28 more to reinforce it. So, you know.
So yeah, people are used to using our local grocery store more often, I believe, you know, and you know, the online sales. So when that happens, a lot of people are using Amazon and all the online sales because you know, for their shopping. Well, when you're doing that and you live inside the city limits, we get those taxes too. So when you order from JCPenney's or wherever you're buying your clothing at, and you're not going to the grocery store or to the JCPenney's, you know, store, you're getting it delivered to your home, those taxes now come to the city of Toledo. You know, it's a portion, it's not very much, but still, a lot of it is helping. So that's going on too.
So what do you do when you order something from Amazon or whoever and you don't get your product yet? Like me, I've
That's
been
not the city's concern.
waiting for 8 weeks for my TP to get for it. I hope the money went to the city.
And I think Glenda has a question.
Go ahead, Glenda.
No, okay.
No, I was just doing a kudos because I didn't realize when I sat here on my couch and shopped at midnight that, yeah, that it was taxes were coming to us. I didn't have any idea. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Keep ordering.
Buy bigger stuff.
Buy big.
I didn't know that either. So yeah, I'm gonna have to spend more money.
So anybody that received that $1,200 in the stimulus, order online.
Okay.
That's another thing I haven't got yet. But anyway,
So Ron has another question.
Just
Go ahead,
comment,
Ron.
Mr. Mayor, number one, our stimulus check went to our property taxes, so, but Mr. Mayor, I have found that if you cancel and reorder exactly the same thing, it comes 3 days later.
Thank you, Ron. You'd be the right person to talk to about that, huh? Okay, anything else on COVID-19? Any questions? Do we need?
Here, let me itch my eye.
Do we need any motions on these, Michelle?
No, not at this point. So the other thing for the council then is just to kind of think about, you know, some recreation is opening up. What is that going to look like for Toledo? I know Mike had kind of mentioned that it's not going to take them a whole lot to get the park open. Is that something that we want to think about, allowing camping in every other spot and not opening the restrooms? We do have people that are contacting us about our camping and when things are going to open up. And so, I don't know if there's any thoughts about that. The other thing is I do have a phone call into the Lions Club. They are trying to decide still what they're going to do with Cheese Days, if they're going to host it or not. It's not looking like they will, but I will know more about that probably tomorrow. And then in our city park, we were going to have the Bluegrass Festival in August. We haven't heard anything on that. And going with their, phase 4 plan.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Oh, Emily just died there.
Whoops.
Going with the phase
That's
4
just
plan,
Emily.
if everything does work perfectly, I guess, and with the phase 4, everything's supposed to be in 3-week intervals, that everything should open up July 7th. But I know there's a lot of preparation and advertisement and trying to get those sponsors that go on well before these events. So you can't just wait till July 7th and go, okay, we're going to do it. You have to make those plans ahead of time.
Yeah, we're gonna do it in like 4 days. Yeah.
Right.
And also, like all of the equipment and everything that goes leading up to the parade, like people have to get together to get those things done.
Right.
If it's, yeah.
Right.
I was thinking that perhaps we should ask Dr. Landrum what her thoughts are on opening for this area, what like she's seen in her demographic. Maybe might be interesting to get her point of view on that.
Yeah, we could, and we are staying in direct contact with Lewis County Health Department too, and following any protocols there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Ron?
One other comment, and that is that the date of the days will very likely change. It's almost like getting the introduction of a new computer system, and they keep sliding the deadlines. And I'm not. I would say that none of those dates, and especially as much as the governor waffled when they tried to pin him down as to how definite the dates were. And I understand his concern that's one side. The other side is people's concern as to how long does this have to go on. But the only stance we could take is to say none of that is cast in stone, and you can probably anticipate they will change.
Yeah, then the other thing is too, with the governor, there is some counties that are opening up sooner, and Lewis County, the commissioners can ask for something like that of the governor. As we've only had 3 deaths, which is 3 too many, but they've been elderly people, and our population is so spread out. So I have a feeling there's probably going to be more coming up. The mayor of Mossy Rock is already doing a new proclamation and asking the governor to allow Lewis County to open up, just because of our demographics and the square footage of the county is so immense compared to other counties, and population is low.
But that's where they found the first COVID case, was in East Lewis County, right?
I don't know that.
I'm gonna leave that up to experts, man. Leaving that one up to experts.
Well, then it depends on which expert you want to listen to.
A panel.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. There's nothing written on the paper, but I have one. The 16th of this month is a cleanup day proposal. I think we need to cancel that and maybe move it up another month. Is that okay with everybody?
How about we move it up to the fall?
Well,
And then we have no,
it doesn't really matter what day we move it up to, but I was suggested by your husband with his email to move it up a month. So I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. We can do it late fall when we find out if this thing is going to fall through or if it's going to be lifted. I have no idea. I hate to keep postponing it month by month, but the fall would be great.
I think we should aim for fall, and then we can have a definite, well,
Okay.
a definite date of possible postponement till later, or not.
Okay.
I
Any
was
other
thinking that
thoughts?
if you went a month, and then you still needed to go another month, you had that option. Whether or not a month would be fall underneath the already established phases, maybe go 2 months. So that you're under the established phases. And I'm not really sure where that would fall into the governor's stay at home type edicts, whether or not we would find one of those phases that fits in. But I would say soon after that date that we would preliminary set it to happen, and then otherwise we can always come back in the following month and set a time, you know. That's all.
So in phase 3, which should begin June 16th, you can have recreation for up to 50 people or gatherings of up to 50 people.
That'd be a good date to set then. Is everybody okay with that?
What is June 16th?
June 16th. That's all the unfinished business I have. Is there any other business? I have none. Public input, letter from Eric Duras.
Glenda is waiting.
Mayor, I was trying to catch under other business, and it's not really public input, but I'd like to just do a brief update on what the Lewis County seniors are doing currently within the county.
Okay.
We started out at serving approximately 1,200 meals the very first week that we started doing pickup, takeout, delivery. We've gone completely to at-home delivery. Twin Transit has partnered with us and does the delivery for us, of course. And we are also partnered with United Way. In the interim, we have outgrown our space. We've had to move to one of the schools in Chehalis to cook all of the food out of. Literally every employee I have is in that kitchen, either plating meals, cooking food, freezing the food down, sealing the meals. So in short, this week we will be doing approximately 4,700 meals for the week. Now keep in mind that countywide, we typically serve within our senior centers for a month around 3,000 meals. And so that means that, you know, we're going to be serving well over 12,000 meals for the month of April. And it's probably going to get worse as we move forward. But I just wanted to give the city an update on the fact that citizens within city limits and even out in the outlying county areas of Toledo are being serviced for meals if they choose to do that. And we do have an 800 number. And unfortunately, I never thought to look it up. Michelle, feel free to put it in your minutes, but I will get that to you so you can put it in the minutes. There's an 800 number for anyone 60 and over to call so they can get meals. I just think that's a really important piece because we don't want anyone going hungry or doing without food. So
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm not Michelle. Geez.
You're welcome,
I'm looking
Michelle.
at Michelle, and I can't see Glenda's picture.
Oh, can you
That's
see me now?
fantastic.
Yeah, and it is a good thing. And considering, just from my 2 cents on the earlier conversation, considering that Lewis County has 28,000 older adults, 60 years old and older, it's a really frightful thing for me to think about this county opening. That's just kind of where I'm at with that. And I know that the senior centers will be probably the last things to open because of that reason. So they're a really vulnerable population and we've got to keep them protected. So just food for thought.
Yep, we're all in total agreement, Glenda. Thank you.
And to add on to Glenda's statement about, you know, feeding keeping our seniors, fed. It's more than keeping them fed. It's keeping them out of the grocery stores and at home where they need to be to keep
Right.
them safe. So even if, you don't think that I don't need those meals, still, to keep yourself safe and out of the grocery store and out of the public, go ahead and get those meals. And if you could afford to $1 a meal or $5 a meal, they're giving you 7 at a time, do that. If you can't, so make sure you guys let your neighbors and family and friends know that live in Lewis County. It's not, just for the seniors that are low income or something like that. It is to keep them safe and out of our grocery stores.
Yeah, every delivery is a wellness check.
Definitely, because they are getting more information than just a meal too. Lewis County Senior things to them so that they are well informed. Sorry, Glenda.
These new meals are a lot better, Glenda. The frozen food was terrible.
Okay, so the meals that we're putting out right now, you mean, they're still frozen meals? So
Well, they're not frozen when I get them. They
Okay.
go in my refrigerator and take them out, put them in the
let them thaw. Is that what you do?
yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, no, they should be frozen. So
They're
yeah,
not frozen as bad as they were the first.
Okay. Awesome. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And I've been reading your stuff on Facebook and the emails I get. Glenda, you guys are doing an awesome job. I see your stacks and stacks and rows of frozen foods in the trucks and vans or wherever you got to haul them in. And I'm glad Twin Transit is stepping up and helping a lot.
Yep.
You don't think about those little things, but the little things mean a lot.
They really do. And Sorensen Transport has donated
Yes.
a reefer truck to us
Yep.
to use
I saw
until
that.
the 1st of June. And I mean, without all of these people in the community coming together, but that's what Lewis County is all about. And that's what makes it a great place to live and
Yeah.
work and raise your family. Because when you're here, you're going to be taken care of. There's going to be people there that are going to be there to help you, regardless of whether it's your neighbor or somebody in another town that just heard about your plight. And I'm seeing that more and more and more, through Facebook and through just all these different connections. It's an amazing work. And I think moving forward, we will not be the same, but we will be better for
Probably
what
better.
we're going
Yeah.
through right now. I think we're going to definitely see life as we know it be different. And I think that will be okay. I think there'll be a lot of good that comes out of this. So.
Well, what I and the chief are talking about today, the fear factor will still be there in the older people because they will not come out of their house for a while, even after this is lifted, because of their age, because of their thoughts and the way they were brought up. But that's just really scared the what out of them, and they're not going to come out yet. So eventually they will. So we have to be supportive of that also, and call and talk to them. It was a phone call away. It doesn't hurt to call these people and talk to them and chat with them and see how they're doing, just to make sure and keep them in the loop. That's the confidence they need right now to come back into our cities and stuff like that. Anyway, back to the letter from Eric Duras. Michelle?
He just wanted to make sure that he, as being part of the public, wanted to be heard and did supply a letter for any of the public that's out there. Basically, Eric has discussed with council the last 2 years about water equalization. And so this was just his thoughts again on looking at water equalization.
Ron?
We have an idea of what kind of money we're talking about if we took and build the water year long rather than by the individual billing periods. How much different would it how much is of a rebate or whatever you want to call this are we talking about? Are we talking hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars?
So I've given that out before previous years, and I can get that information to you, Ron. It was quite high, and the way that we look at our water rates is basically what it takes to run our water and sewer department. And so if we start giving out rebates, then we're going to have to increase water bills for all.
So that data is available that at least look at.
Yes, yes, and I'll do that to you.
So that I could talk to him directly and say, well, if we do this, then this is what we're going to have to do to offset it. And that might hurt you more, you know? So my feeling is I just don't want to say, well, we've already listened to this and there isn't an answer. It would be a lot easier for me to say that we need to offset the income. So if we give you this money, then we're going to have to charge these people this much, or we're going to have to change the rate system or something. So I'll get together with you individually with that.
Okay.
Any other questions? That's all I have on my agenda.
I move we adjourn.
Do I
I'll
hear a
second
second?
that. I did,
Okay.
Michelle, I seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. We adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy
Bye,
Monday.
Carol.
Happy week 8.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I can.
Bye.
Meeting for all.